Not alone. If you need someone to talk to today, please contact Crisis Services Canada by either calling them at 1-833-456-4566 all hours of the day. Or you can text them at 45645 at 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, you're not alone, and Crisis Services Canada is here to help.
The FHN network is sponsored in part by Hoddle Services. If you're looking for a disc jockey, karaoke host, video jockey to videographer, our company can help. With over 20 years of experience, we would be happy to help with your special event within Ontario, Canada. You can contact us at 226-988-2895 or visit us at our website at hoddleservices.vpweb.ca. That's HODDLE Services. We look forward to hearing from you and helping with your special event.
Yes, that's right. It's Logan of Sportstalk, Untitled Network, ASTV. My name is Logan Lockhart. We do it every Tuesday, 1 p.m. It's my favorite time of year, the NFL, just about a quarter of the way. You got to remember, 17 games this year in the NFL. First time it's been like that. We're used to 16, and we're used to everybody's record reflecting 16 games. But we're about a quarter of the way through, 4 weeks in, and of course, the MLB postseason. It starts tonight. AL wildcard game. It won't feature the 91-win Toronto Blue Jays. Quite remarkable. The Blue Jays, they surpassed their win total from what they had in 2016, the year they made the ALCS, and they're just in a tough division this year. The AL East, fourth place. You win 91 games and you finish in fourth. It's pretty amazing, but it says a lot about the division that the Jays are in, not just in 2021, but for years to come. The NFL, of course, the game of the week this week was apparently the most anticipated regular season game in recent memory. And it was Tom Brady returning to New England as a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And a good game. Now, the weather did not really hold up, so that added a wrench into everything. But with the rain and this and that, it was an intriguing game, a low-scoring game. It wasn't a shootout, I would say. You know, it really depended on the field goal kickers. And you had that sense as the game went on that it would come down to that. And it did. Nick Folk, the veteran kicker for New England, hits the goalpost, misses it, does not get the bounce off the goalpost. Ball goes out, and Tampa Bay wins. It was one of those Tom Brady wins. Last second, a little bit, something happens. You know, we've seen this before with Tom Brady. And at 44 years of age, he's still doing it. He wins that game. If the Patriots won that game, boy, it would have been interesting. Not just because it's Bill Belichick beating Tom Brady, but the fact that Tampa Bay would have been in kind of a weird situation, knowing how good Carolina's been playing, and knowing how tough the NFC as a whole is looking. And Tampa Bay really needed that win after losing in LA the week before. Tampa Bay needed that for sure. So we're just about a quarter of the way through in the NFL. We looked at week 5, and the Thursday night game promises to be good. Now it's between two teams that are in this ever so difficult NFC West division that I keep talking about each and every week on the show, how difficult it is and how much of a wrench it's going to put in the rest of the conference. Rams Seahawks, Thursday night football this week. The Seahawks are a tough team to figure out. I think the Rams, they did lose to Arizona, but I think that says a lot more about how good Arizona is than the Rams. The Rams are real good. I think everyone agrees. I think we've come to that conclusion. They're an elite team in the NFC. The Seahawks, on the other hand, they're kind of more difficult to figure out. They went into Minnesota in week 3. They lose. But then they bounce back and they beat San Francisco. It just shows this division, the NFC West, and I know I'm keep going back to that, but not only is it difficult, it's unpredictable. We don't really know what direction this is going in. If you asked me after the first 3 weeks, who's going to win this division, I'd say this is the Rams division to lose, as good as the division is. But now, how can you not say Arizona? Kyler Murray, quarterback for the Cardinals, he might be the MVP. He's the front runner right now, I would say. He's got weapons everywhere. Arizona's for real, and they're not going away. So I think that Thursday Night Football, it's going to be interesting. The fact that this division, it's going to be showcased prime time. And Seahawks in particular, home game, they're tough to figure out. I would still take the Rams, though. Let's take a break from football right now, and we'll go to the MLB postseason, because I think this is where the attention needs to lie. It was a wild Sunday. Sunday, you had the final games of the regular season in Major League Baseball, and you had football as well. If there was anything else that was going on, I apologize for not mentioning it, but that's what I was tuning into. So, with the Blue Jays, this is where we're going to start here. You win 91 games. In a normal year, and I'm saying normal, I'm not talking about COVID or anything. In a normal year, 91 wins should be a home run for at least a wild card, but this wasn't a normal year because the Rays were real good. The Rays won 100 games. The Yankees and Red Sox, it's amazing to me how this is going to be the wild card matchup tonight. And as much as I believe the Yankees have really turned it around since the deadline on paper, and they really fixed a lot of issues they had earlier, they still ran into a bunch of issues in the second half of the year. The Red Sox, they dealt with a lot of COVID stuff, but that aside, the Red Sox have had a lot of issues. I don't trust the Red Sox pitching. I said this last year, and now the issue has come back. These two teams had a lot of issues. They did not play the cleanest of baseball over the weekend. I know the Red Sox swept the Nationals. The Yankees lost 2 out of 3 over the weekend. The Blue Jays have been playing the best baseball over the last 4 days, and they didn't make the postseason. It's pretty amazing that it's going to be Yankees-Red Sox. And that's not mentioning the rivalry implications. Okay, it's going to be at Fenway Park. It's going to be pretty amazing. It's Garrett Cole, Nathan Eovaldi. That's the pitching matchup. And you would think that the Yankees are feeling pretty good because it wasn't that long ago, over 7 days ago now, just over a week, that the Yankees went into Fenway Park and swept the Red Sox. So at the end of the day, you got to be thinking here that the Yankees feel good. Now, it's interesting to note that there was a scenario, a tiebreaker scenario, where there would have been 4 teams, whether it be Seattle, Toronto, New York, Boston. If that happened, the teams had to pick almost where they were going to play during that tiebreaker, and the Yankees picked to go to Fenway, not at the Rogers Center in Toronto. So they're feeling pretty good about tonight. It's a road game, but still, they feel good. Real shame about Toronto. At the end of the day, you got to be feeling optimistic. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., if it wasn't for Shohei Ohtani, this is the MVP in the AL. And also, if it's not for just an incredible run from the Tampa Bay Rays, carrying over from last year, and if it's not for a bullpen that was not good in Toronto, not at all, this team might win the division. And I think that Blue Jay fans are going to be looking at next year and thinking exactly that the division should be in their hands and that they can absolutely contend. It wasn't supposed to be in 2021. In 2021, it was, let's see if we can make the wild card. In 2022, it will be, let's see if we can win the AL East. It just has to be. And I think that's the mindset they're going to go with. A lot of people are bringing up the fact that Marcus Semien, who set records at second base, And he wasn't a second baseman entering the series, usually a shortstop. 44 home runs, I believe it was. I mean, you're not going to find that anywhere out of a second baseman. So this was a real historic year for Semien. Can you sign him? He signed a 1-year deal with Toronto as a show-me contract around the league. He didn't have a good 2020 with Oakland. He had a great 2019. He had a step back in 2020. And then with Toronto, it was, okay, let's see what you can do. Can the Blue Jays sign him? He's going to ask for a lot of money. He may love Toronto. I think he's very important to the young players, Bichette in particular, as a middle infielder. I think it's very important that the Blue Jays keep Semien. He might not ask for that much. It might be a hometown discount from Toronto. It might be. I think that Semien really enjoyed his time. Of course, right? You look at his numbers. He must have. Robbie Ray. This is someone that might win the Cy Young. The most unexpected Cy Young winner maybe ever. And again, you look at the last time there was an unexpected Cy Young winner. It was also in Toronto. Pat Henkin, 1996. So Robbie Ray's another guy. He's a free agent. Can you sign him? How much is he going to ask for? There's a lot of teams around the league that are always in need of pitching. In fact, all 30 teams in baseball are always looking for pitching. When you have a guy like Robbie Ray, who seemed to have figured something out here. He was not good in Arizona. He comes to Toronto. Pete Walker, the pitching coach, figures something out. Can the Blue Jays retain him? Can they bring him back? Can you bring this core together? I don't think it's the end of the world if both Semien and Ray aren't Blue Jays next year. If one of them are Blue Jays next year, fantastic. But if both are, and I don't think it's the end of the world. This team is built. I think the core's there. And it's going to remain there. And the Blue Jays have proven that, you know what, they're going to be fine. And they're going to be really good. And they're a team to be reckoned with. If the Blue Jays made the playoffs, you can bet everything you have that nobody would want to play the Blue Jays, Tampa Bay included. Just not a team you want to play, especially in Toronto. A fired up crowd. Blue Jays weren't even there all year. You kind of feel that. And that's why the Yankees, they elected to play at Fenway Park instead of the Rogers Center in the case of a tiebreaker. They didn't want any part of the Blue Jays. It really says a lot. Let's go back to the NFL here. And let's go with those Dallas Cowboys for a sec, because I think a lot of people are overlooking what is happening with the Cowboys. I mentioned Kyler Murray as an MVP with Arizona, as the front runner right now. Dak Prescott is right behind him. And Dak Prescott almost went into Tampa Bay in week 1, the first game of the year, and beat Tom Brady in what turned out to be a shootout. People were saying that was going to be such a great upset if Dallas can pull it off. I didn't think so. I think that this Dallas team is really good. You saw it again this week. There's just too much on offense. The defense, especially Trayvon Diggs, the defensive back, he's had an interception every game. Dan Quinn, the new defensive coordinator, there's something going on at this Dallas team. And you know the offense is already good, especially if a healthy Prescott. It was just the defense. The defense was historically bad last year. And that was the big question mark coming into this year. Can they be at least serviceable? And if they were, then we knew that this Cowboys team is not only going to win the division in a weak NFC East, but they're also going to be a bit of a player in the playoffs. They might be picked, maybe favored in a game or two in the postseason. They beat Carolina. The Cowboys are 3-1 right now. And as it stands, Dallas, they're kind of the team to beat in the NFC East. It wasn't that way last year. Last year, it was the worst division we'd ever seen. All 4 teams were kind of in it. Late in the season, it seemed as though nobody wanted to win that division last year. It's a little different now. Dallas is the clear favorite in the NFC East. You go division by division, though. Let's go to the AFC East. And now Buffalo. They're kind of back to where we all expected that they would be. They beat Houston 40-0 on Sunday. Now, all of a sudden, Buffalo, after losing week 1 to a Steelers team that hasn't won since, Buffalo is 3-1 right now. And let's go to Pittsburgh, actually. because Ben Roethlisberger does not look good at all. And I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers, they didn't want to confront this situation this early in the season. You thought that maybe it might arise later with Big Ben. And is he going to hold up? He's getting older. Is he still a guy you can count on? We're entering week 5. I think there's a real conversation in Pittsburgh right now about what do you do at quarterback, because it's just not working. Pittsburgh beat Buffalo. They haven't won since. And now they're 1-3. And it's not looking good with the Steelers right now. You got to look at it from this perspective. I'm looking to the draft, and I'm looking at next season. There's got to be a new quarterback. There just has to be. Whether you draft one, we'll see where the Steelers finish. But an era in Pittsburgh, I know we've seen this before. And with Pittsburgh, when they've struggled, we've said this before, but this might be the time now. It might be the time when an era in Pittsburgh is coming to an end. And a 1-3 record for Pittsburgh, let's look at their schedule. Because I think a lot of people in Pittsburgh are doing that right now. They got the Broncos this week. The Broncos have looked pretty good so far this year. Despite their first loss being handed to them last week, to Baltimore. But Pittsburgh's a team right now. Hey, if it's not going to go well, this isn't an easy division either. It's going to be interesting to see what Pittsburgh does. There's definitely a core there. There's definitely guys that you can count on for years to come, but there's a quarterback issue. And I think it's a real conversation to have. Games of the week in the NFL in week 5. I love the Thursday nighter. I mentioned it before. Rams, Seahawks. I like the Rams there. The spread, we'll see what it is Thursday morning. But right now, the Seahawks, to me, not sure if you can trust them. They've been up and down. I like the Rams. The Rams are elite. And I think that they're going to bounce back after losing to Arizona. Again, that division is something else. You look at another game of the week. And yeah, I'm going to go to Pittsburgh right now because I think this is real interesting with what's going on. Broncos, Steelers. If the Steelers go to 1-4, changes will be made. I can tell you that right now. I don't know what will happen, but I'll tell you this. This is do or die for the Steelers. They want to win. They didn't want to be in a situation where they got to take steps back. They thought they were going forward. This was a good team last year. They really were. And they are not off to a good start. 49ers, Cardinals in the later slot on Sunday afternoon. Again, can Arizona keep this going? Because I sure think they can. San Francisco, though, they got to bounce back. They lose to Seattle. We got good NFC West matchups here in week 5. And of course, what might be the game of the week. It is Sunday Night Football, and it's Bills-Chiefs. A rematch of the AFC Championship game from last year. It's great that we can get a rematch of this so early in the season. It might be the AFC Championship game this year again. Buffalo's looking real good. And Kansas City, they've already lost at home. They lost to Justin Herbert and the Chargers, who won last night. The Chargers, they look real good. They're looking to take the AFC West by a hold here, and which has usually been a Kansas City division. Look out for the Chargers. Really look out for them. So those are the games of the week. Week 5 in the NFL. MLB postseason tonight. It's the wild card game. Do or die. Yankees, Red Sox. And then tomorrow, you have Dodgers, Cardinals. The Cardinals came out of nowhere. They had an incredible September. They won about 19 of the last 21 games, something like that. Just an incredible run. The Dodgers, they won 106 games, and they'll be playing in a wild card game. You got to love baseball sometimes. The second best record in the league, they're going to be playing in a do or die tomorrow. It's pretty amazing. And then, of course, the division series start after that. But that is it for Locking Up Sports Talk. My name is Logan Lockhart. Find us on Network and on AFTV. We do it 12 Central every Tuesday, 1 Eastern here. Find us on Network ASTV. And until next week, here I am, signing off.
Make sure to check out our past shows from previous weeks on our YouTube, Facebook, or Mixcloud channels. You can always catch up on podcasts while checking out our FHN Network channel on YouTube or Facebook. Or you can listen to an audio copy of our past shows on our Mixcloud channel at FHN_Network. The FHN Network, the future of entertainment.